2025 NFL draft is upon us, and I have our top 12 quarterback tiers for you in this video to help best prepare you for the NFL draft and your fantasy drafts. Guys, we're going to dive right into this as my number one quarterback on the board right now. In the S tier, I'm going to have Cam Ward. Ward's a 6'1", about a 219-pound quarterback, right? He tossed a class-high 39 touchdowns, and his 88.7 QBR trailed only Will Howard last season. So he didn't run a ton, but he was effective when he did. I mean, class best 9.1 yards per carry, and a ridiculous 79% of his 38 carries went for 5+ yards. Cam is a winner. He could be anywhere on the top of the draft. I mean, it could be anywhere from the Titans, the Browns, the Giants. Anybody could grab Cam Ward to try to get themselves an immediate winner on the football. Cam Ward, definitely an S tier quarterback. And somebody joined him here in the S tier. I'm going Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback out of Colorado, right? I mean, he completed, I would say, a class best, right? 72% of his passes, and avoided, interceptions in his collegiate years through 24 starts, right? Though it's worth noting that he was very conservative. 7.4 ADOT is the third lowest in his class, and took a ton of sacks. 8.64% was the second highest, right? I mean, he adds a bit with his legs. He had a career, 117 carries for 687 yards, 8 touchdown line in 24 starts. My thing with Shedeur Sanders, he just needs to learn how to throw the football away, not take a lot of sacks. But overall, you can't deny his talent. Definitely an S tier quarterback. Now, let's move along to the A tier. Who belongs in the A tier to me? I'm saying Jackson Dart, the quarterback out of Mississippi. Standing at 6'2", about 223 pounds, he paced this rookie class in ADOT 11.1. Yards per attempt 10.8. His efficiency rating was a 181 last season, despite dealing with a class-high 5.8% drop rate. His receivers couldn't catch donkey crap, right? I mean, a factor with his legs is what he is. He's a 9.6% scramble rate, ranked second last season, and he ran for 2,009 yards in 45 collegiate games. Jackson Dart is my dark horse in this 2025 draft, and I think someone's going to get a steal if they draft him in the second round. Jackson Dart, I'll tell you right now, even if he wouldn't surprise me, right, if he ends up creeping into the first round. I think he's that talented. So he belongs in a tier of his own. Let's go now to tier B. First guy I have here in tier B as my fourth quarterback on the board right now, Quinn Ewers from Texas. Now, hear me out here. He's got a good arm, right? His 2024 and career passing efficiency was underwhelming across the board. I mean, he finishes his career with 36 starts, right? But he has below average marks relative to his class, despite a conservative 7.8 ADOT and having rarely seen pressure, a class low 24% rate, right? Ewers wasn't a factor with his legs either, 2.0 carries per start in his career, but what you see from Ewers is what you can't see on the paper, right? You had Manning come in there, put a ton of pressure on Ewers to perform, and that is what he did. He did not give up his starting job to Manning. The only time Manning came in is when Ewers were actually injured. So that tells me a lot about Ewers, his composure, his professionalism. He can come into a situation, doesn't have to be the starter out of the gate, can learn from somebody in front of him and be a good professional. Quinn Ewers, I believe, is my fourth best quarterback in the board here. Moving right along here. Number 5, still in the B tier, I'm going Jalen Milroe, the quarterback out of Alabama. Not crazy about this guy, but let's go over him just a little bit. He only threw 16 touchdown passes in 13 games last season. I can't stand that. His 3.45% interception rate was easily the worst in his class as well. Some of the latter can be traced to an aggressive game, as his career 10.2 ADOT is tops this class, right? So his career 79.6 QBR is second best in the class as well. So there are some accuracy concerns though for me, but he has a good arm, and he's really a terrific athlete, right? He can get outside of the pocket, scramble when he needs to. He's posted elite rushing numbers last season, 145 carries, 906 yards, and 20 touchdowns. My thing is that Jalen Milroe really didn't lead Alabama to the actual season that they wanted to, and what they're used to seeing. And I know Nick Saban wasn't there either, but there's a lot of ups and downs with Jalen Milroe. I'm sitting there saying, is he maybe a better passer than like an Anthony Richardson type build? And I'm hoping he has a better career than what Anthony Richardson has so far, but we'll have to wait and see. He is the 5th best quarterback on my board. Now we're dropping to the C tier. First guy I have in here, my number 6 quarterback, Dillon Gabriel, the quarterback out of Oregon, about 5'11", somewhere around 205 pounds. His 6.5 ADOT was easily the lowest in the class last season, but he did make it work, completing 73% of his passes while being off target on a class low 6% of his aimed throws. So he was way more aggressive during this multi-year stints with Oklahoma and UCF, and his overall collegiate efficiency rate is terrific, right? Including his quarterback rating, right? It's a class best 161 and a QBR of 78.8. So, you know, he's an older prospect and he's undersized, but he adds value with his legs, as he had a career rushing for 311 attempts, 1,895 yards, and 33 touchdowns. Dillon Gabriel, again, could be a work in progress, but could be a successful, you know, quarterback in the NFL if given some time to develop. So let's stay in the C tier here. Now, number 7 quarterback on the board, I got Will Howard, right? The quarterback out of Ohio State, 6'4", about 235, 36-ish pounds. He's the biggest quarterback in the class, you know, small hands aside. But, you know, Howard made a big leap last season. He impressed in 16 games at Ohio State, you know, with class best marks in QBR, 89.6, and his sack rate, only 3.1%. So that was a major improvement from his underwhelming efficiency during 4 seasons at Kansas State. Howard didn't scramble much, but still averaged a solid 6.6 carries per start in his career, which, you know, worked out to about 284 carries, 1,466 yards rushing, and 26 rushing touchdowns. Will Howard, another one of those quarterbacks who can learn, be a really good pocket passer, doesn't really need to go out there and scramble, but he could find some success in the NFL if given the right coaching opportunity. So the last guy I have here in the C tier, Tyler Show. So out of Louisville, right? 6'4", about 219 pounds. He's the oldest quarterback in the class at 25 years old, having spent his 7 collegiate seasons at Oregon, Texas Tech, and Louisville. He completed only 63% of his passes last season and for his career, but he's had a big frame, right? Good arm. I think he adds some value with his legs as well. He had 196 carries, 1,109 yards, and 11 touchdowns during his career as well. So, like I said, once you get down here to these guys and these quarterbacks, these are really a lot of work in progresses. See what they get, maybe decent backups in the NFL. We're going to drop it to the D tier now. First guy on the D tier, a really big quarterback here, Curtis Rourke out of Indiana, 6'4", about 220 pounds. His 85.5 QBR last season, his lone campaign at Indiana, mind you, was 4th best in the class. And he came out playing through a torn ACL. So that shows you the toughness of this guy. You know, it was a big improvement from his pedestrian efficiency during 5 years at Ohio. Rourke adds a little bit of, with his legs, you know, 4.6 carries per start in his career. So move right along here at my number 10 quarterback on the board, Kyle McCord, the quarterback out of Syracuse, around 6'3", 218 pounds. He's a pocket quarterback, really, right? Okay, he's a career, you know, 64 attempts for 223 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. So he's not really gonna go out there, right? He has a 3.5 yards per carry, class low 2.3% scramble rate. He is purely in the pocket. But he was an efficient passer, right? Class best career, 79.7 QBR during stints at Ohio State and Syracuse. Kyle McCord had to be my number 10 quarterback. Move right along here. Riley Leonard, another guy here in the D tier for me. Notre Dame, right? 6'3", 216 pounds. His passing needs work. You know, 7.1 yards per attempt last season, second worst in his class. He completed 64% of his career passes despite a low 7.3 ADOT. But he's a big-time rusher, right? He's 164 carries, 1,011 yards, 17 touchdowns last season, including a class-high 10.6% scramble rate. You know, I graded him last year when he's coming out of Duke, ended up transfer over to Notre Dame, and he was still able to produce some good numbers, especially in the playoffs as well. Kind of, you know, proving that he does belong into my rankings here in the top 12. Speaking of the top 12, we're going to our last guy, our last quarterback of this video. It's going to be Brady Cook, right, out of Missouri, 6'2", 214 pounds. He's got a good arm, right? But accuracy, I think, is a big concern for me. He finished worst in the class as far as completion rate, only 63%. Catchable ball rate, 74% off. Target rate, 15.3% last season. On the plus side, though, I mean, he did well to avoid those interceptions in his career. He had a class low 1.32% interception rate. So a big factor as a rusher, I would say, you know, 283 carries, 1,696 yards, and 20 touchdowns for his rushing ability. So he's a scrambling pocket, you know, a scrambling quarterback that doesn't tend to stay in the pocket too much. He just needs to improve on his accuracy, and I think he can do that through some coaching. But I had to put him here at number 12 for quarterbacks for me. But guys, that is my top 12 quarterbacks in a tier list for you guys. I know you guys like the tier list other than the rankings as well, to kind of see where the tier breaks are. So when you're going through your drafts, you can say, okay, I got this guy in the S tier, this guy in the S tier. Which one should I pick based on what tier they are? So guys, I'm pumping out so many videos of you guys each and every week to help you best set yourself up for success. Make sure you guys hit the like button, hit a subscribe button, helps the channel out tremendously. We're pumping out a lot of videos, pre-draft, post-draft, getting you ready for your dynasty leagues, rookie drafts, best ball leagues, redraft leagues. It doesn't matter what you're playing. We got you covered here at the Bayou Bingo Fantasy Network. Leave a comment down below. Which one of these guys in these tiers do you believe should be a little higher, a little lower? Who did I not put in my top 12 that you believe should be in the top 12? Let me know in the comments below. I can't wait to see you guys on the next video. We'll see you guys next time.